Home Invasion Show, CKCU FM. That's us on the Facebook. You can check us out because we on live now. But if you don't have a Facebook account, we got y'all covered. Livin Large got you covered. You know, we upload this video up on the YouTube too, and you can find us on YouTube. That's the Home Invasion Show on YouTube. Make sure you like, comment on the video, subscribe to the channel, and just interact with us. Let us know what you think. Because I'm about to hit y'all with my take, with my review on the Avengers Infinity War. You know, I just got caught. You know, I was talking about Full Circle's Infinite Edges album. If y'all haven't checked it out, once again, I can't stress it enough, man. Go ahead and check it out. Infinite Edges, that's a debut album. They just dropped something brand new, you know, an EP. And we will be spinning that next week. We'll spin a little something off that. You know, Home Invasion exclusive all around like that, you know. Shit, once again, much love go out to Best Kept, the Full Circle, the family, you know, Ill Waters, shit like that, you know. We keeping it going like that. But, you know, we talking about Infinity War. So, it's crazy. It's crazy. So check it out. All right. We've been talking about this behind the scene talk. You know, Idris Elba really wanted to get out of you know, his Marvel contract. He really wanted to be out. You know, and you know, he wanted to be out when they released the Thor Ragnarok movie. He was trying any which way to get out of his contract, find a loophole, talking to his manager, trying to get out of the movies. I don't know why, you know. Because, like, after that, he did Dark Towers, and that movie tanked. You know what I mean? That movie bombed like a mother, you know? And, you know, he was doing some movies here and there, and they weren't really making that much noise. And to me, it's like, man, if you're doing a comic movie, that's pretty much your bread and butter. You're pretty much set for life. From what I heard, Robert Downey Jr. just got re-signed and signed for 10 years. He got locked for 10 years. I don't know if that's true or not. I haven't really looked it up, but word on the street, from what I heard, that's what it is, you know? So, especially in terms of like an actor like Robert Downey Jr., man, this dude right here was down and out before the Iron Man movie. You know, he was heavily addicted, you know, drugs and alcohol and all that shit. And then all of a sudden, you know, the Avengers movies and Iron Man came up and he took the role and it pretty much changed his life. You know, so on that standpoint, I want to say much love go out to Marvel for doing that. You know, I want to talk about Infinity War, and I kind of want to talk a little bit about the DC universe, you know, because they're having a whole revamp. They don't know what to do. And I kind of want to give my 2 cents on that, you know. So, as it is, blanket, I'll tell you guys right now, Infinity War, out of 4 stars, it got 3.5. 3.5. You know, I took my daughter out to that movie. And, you know, first movie 3D that she's ever seen in her entire life. And we had this little moment where, you know, she had them 3D glasses on, and you know, the credits roll up. You know that little Marvel logo where they do the comic flip and shit like that, and they show you like, you know, all them characters and stuff. She had her glasses on for that, and it just blew her away. You know, my daughter's 5 years old, and it just blew her away. You know, she was like, oh my god, you know, she took the glasses off and she had to like put it back on because, you know, it's 3D, right? So the characters were like, you know, popping out the screen. And she was saying, it's like, yo, he's coming at me in my face. And I started laughing, like, god damn, you know. So memory was made that day. You know, I actually took the lady out, you know. Shouts out to Queen Colleen, you know, she was, took her out for Mother's Day and shit like this, you know what I'm saying? So we kind of did that thing right there. We had a little family thing. So it was beautiful all around, you know. And shit, so we went down to the movie. Movie already, like I said, 3.5 and out of 4 stars. And they weren't lying, man. They weren't lying when they said they're not really holding their punches, you know what I mean? They're going through with it, you know. A lot of characters got axed off. I'm not going to say who, but, you know. It's crazy because, like, in terms of, like, the black actors, almost, almost all of them got wiped out. You know, the main ones. And it just blew my mind, you know? And it's crazy. So, stay tuned. When you're watching that movie, make sure you sit your ass down and watch it all the way through, because they do have a scene. You know, sometimes they do a scene in between the credits or whatever, a mid-credit scene they call it or whatever. Nah, this one's all the way to the end, so you're going to have to sit down and watch all them credits roll and stuff like that, you know? They kind of did some changes here and there with Thanos. They made him a sympathetic character instead of megalomaniac trying to just take over the world, which is nice. I love that, you know, because when you make a dude trying to just take over the world for what it is and not really give him a motive, you know, as to like why, it just comes off as lazy. It just comes off as you know, I don't really I don't really buy it. You know, a character that wants to do it for a reason, he's got a reason behind it. It makes sense. You know what I mean? You can actually, you know, there's some people out there that might even be like, you know, I agree with him. As crazy as it is, there are some people out there that be like, you know, I agree. You know, but you know, the movie was pretty dope all around. Acting was pretty dope all around. Loved the interaction with Thor and Rocket Raccoon. You know, Rocket Raccoon was actually one of my favorites from the Guardians series. And like Thor just kept calling him Rabbit the entire time. You know, he actually thought that Rocket was a rabbit, and not once did Rocket ever correct him. You know what I mean? He was annoyed here and there, but he just kept on letting him go with, you know, being called Rabbit and shit. It was just hilarious, you know. And like they had a scene where Thor kind of meets up with the Guardians, and like, you know, he kind of showed up Star-Lord, and Star-Lord started making his voice deeper and speaking proper English, you know, like, "You may not, sir," and shit like that. And everyone's like, "Yo, you making your voice deeper?" He's like, "Nah," you know, because he realized that, you know, he's a god and shit, and like, you know, people were saying he's good looking and all this. It just had me on my ass, you know. So they had their little moments here and there where they kind of kept the theme of the original movies intact. You know, when they went down to Wakanda, all the structures and everything else was still there, you know. So it looked like you watching an extension of the Black Panther movie. You know, when they had it up in space and they went to like, you know, them different planets like Nowhere and all that. You know, when they, you know, when they see the Collector and shit like that. Again, it felt like an extension of the Guardians movies, you know. And shouts out to Spider-Man. He does his thing, you know. I kind of geeked out when I saw him in the Iron Spider suit. I didn't really think they're going to do it this early. I thought it'd be like 3-4 movies in and then they do it. But, you know, it was nice seeing Peter Parker rocking that Iron Spider, you know, especially with them spider legs kind of popping out of his back, you know. It was pretty dope. Seeing that all around, it was pretty dope. They gave Peter Parker more time, more screen time. Tom Holland, you know, he wasn't just like in and out, you know what I mean? He was like actually part of it, which is crazy because when you have all these actors, all these characters centered in one movie, it's hard to give them enough screen time. But everybody seemed, like, to me, it seemed like they all got enough screen time, you know? But I love the Incredible Hulk. Hulk is actually my favorite character, you know? And it just seemed like he was there in the beginning, and then he just got his ass kicked by Thanos' people. And ever since then, he doesn't want to, like, every time Bruce calls him and he wants him to transform into the Hulk, the one time Bruce actually wanted to become the Hulk, and just Hulk would not do it, you know? To me, it just seemed like they're going somewhere with it in terms of, like, character development. Because, like, in that, like, when you want to think about it, Hulk is kind of one note in some ways. You know, you could actually make him into a sympathetic character, you know? Because, like, essentially what it is Hulk was based off the Frankenstein movies. You know, so the first Frankenstein movie, like with Boris Karloff and shit, you know. If you remember that movie, you know, he actually gets taken in by a blind man because he doesn't know, like, he can't really see him for what it is. And then, like, you know, Frankenstein meets up with, like, this little girl and he accidentally drowns her and shit like that, you know. Shit like that, you know. So he kind of, like, borrowed from the Frankenstein mythos and stuff. So, shit like this. But, like, in the end, like, when you see Hulk kind of, like, all scared, to me, it felt like he was scared. I felt like, you know, I took it as him being scared after he got his ass kicked. Because, you know, Hulk is the strongest, you know, especially in the Thor movie, Ragnarok, the last one. You know, they kept saying he's the strongest Avenger and all this. And then all of a sudden now, like, he got taken out in the first scene. And he never wanted to transform back. So to me, it kind of felt like he was scared. And, you know, this is a 2-part movie, so who knows? This time next year, they might drop they are going to drop the other one, the second half of the story. And I think he might have a little thing, you know, where some character development, overcome his fears, and kind of get down with Thanos and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So it's pretty good on that standpoint. I still kind of wish I would have seen more of the Hulk. But, you know, they have Bruce Banner rocking the Hulkbuster Iron Man suit, you know, kicking ass like that. And it was crazy. It was like, legit, the movie was nuts. You know, everything was perfectly shot. Complete opposite of what the Justice League movie was like. You know, everything, like I said, it felt like it carried over from one movie to the next. All the themes, you know, because like Guardians of the Galaxy, for example, is kind of lighthearted, you know, bright, you know, with the music and shit like that. The first scene that they introduced them, they kind of had them old school music, you know what I mean? The moldy but hoodies, you know, like I like to call them. And they had that shit. That's how they introduced them. And then, you know, they kept the comedy going. And they kept, you know, Drax, you know, being like an imbecile in a way and shit like this, you know. So they kept that going. They actually pursued it. They kind of built up a little more on Gamora's storyline. They kind of talked about her relationship with Thanos. And they gave us a little backstory on like Thanos and like, again, why his motives, why he's doing what he's doing. And, you know, his relationship with Gamora and stuff like that. Again, pretty dope. Everything is dope. I'm a sucker for drama movies. I'm a sucker for character development, and especially when you mix it with superheroes. I know a lot of people, they say they're burnt out. I mean, that's the cool thing to say now. You know, I'm burnt out with superhero movies. I'm tired of superhero movies. Am I the only one that's sick and tired of superhero movies? And to me, it's like, man, shit, Deadpool's coming out. Watch all y'all go hop on that train. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm surprised, you know, like all them people are saying this shit, but then when Logan came out, nobody was saying, I'm burnt out of superhero movies. You know? Say what you want to say. Wolverine is Wolverine. Whatever, you know? I don't know. I'm not really, you know, even Logan itself, I really wasn't really into it. I thought it was overhyped, and I thought it was whatever to me, you know? It is what it is, you know? I read the actual story. Old Man Logan, I read it. You know, so to me, it didn't really translate well on screen, and I thought, you know, the main villain was just boring. You know, and to me, I don't know. A lot of people love Professor Xavier's, you know, the way he talked and stuff like that. I just found it, I don't know, man. Like him cussing and saying like, you know, F-bombs and shit. And I wasn't really buying it. I'm like, man, you're gonna take Xavier and just turn him into like a senile old man like that and stuff. That's whatever. Pass. That movie was whack. Whatever. But yeah, so. That was that. I highly recommend it. It's still in theaters. If y'all want to see it, if y'all haven't seen it, because I know everybody's seen it. You know, I'm probably like one of the only ones. So, you know, if y'all haven't seen it yet and still on the fence, definitely get my seal of approval. Y'all need to go ahead and check out that movie. Again, comic movie done right. Everybody was used properly. Everybody got their moment to shine. Everybody got their screen time. Nobody was left out and everything else like that. You know what I'm saying? So, anybody that, you know, all them studios, especially Warner Brothers, nudging y'all right now, that's how you do a superhero movie. You know, you don't rush into it, just gradually build up to it. You know, it took them 10 years to get to this moment. 10 years to get to this spot. You know? And superhero movies are in right now, so just do it like that. You know, and since we're on the topic of Warner Brothers, let's talk about DC right now. They don't know what they want to do. They got no idea. You know, some are saying that they should just reboot the entire universe and keep it standalone without any, like, you know, connected universe like Marvel is doing right now. And people are saying, no, they should keep it connected. You know? For me, like, here's how I do it, all right? I would make it their own standalone movies, but at the same time, keep little bits here and there to connect the plots. Like if you remember, Iron Man was its own standalone movie, but then the end scene in the mid-credits and the credits or whatever, that's what connected everything. All these movies. Thor was the same way. You know, they kind of had like little Easter eggs here and there in all their movies to connect them a little bit further. But that's how you do it. That's how you do it. I don't know why Warner Brothers don't got it like that, you know? Essentially, when it comes down to me, here's how I do a Superman movie, all right? First movie, you can graze over Superman's origins. Everybody knows Superman's origins, you know what I mean? You can go to Iraq, you know, with the electricity cuts for like 4 or 5 hours per day. And you ask them what Superman's backstory is, they'll tell you straight up, you know? So just gloss over Superman's backstory. We already know that. We've already seen it to death. We already know what it is. Okay, cool. So just show Superman doing what he's doing, all good like that. And every now and then he would meet, like, okay, I'm pretty sure, you know, Steel. I don't know if y'all know Steel. They kind of had a movie with Shaquille O'Neal back in the 90s. Terrible ass movie. Nobody should watch it. Skip that one. All right? But you can introduce John Henry Irons. You know? That's the dude, Steel. Initially what happened was he gets saved by Superman, and then he wants to become like Superman. He wants to pay it forward. And especially after Superman dies, he builds himself a suit. You know, kind of like Iron Man, except in like Superman style. And going out to do what he do, you know. And he carries like this big ass hammer. Shit like that. Show Superman saved John Henry Irons. Build on that, you know, and at the same time have them develop, you know, they get some Superman's DNA and they kind of splice it together with Lex Luthor's DNA. Again, hinting at Superboy. And then you got the Eradicator. He's the main dude, you know, floating in space while Superman fighting Brainiac and shit like that, you know. So kind of connect them all like that. So that way, the first movie is what it is. Second movie is when they introduce, what's his name? Shit, I forgot who it was. Shit, I can't even believe I forgot. It's just because, you know, late night and shit like this, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, Doomsday. That's who I'm thinking of. They introduced Doomsday. And then Superman fight with Doomsday, and then Superman dies. And then from there, they kind of, you know, branch out. That's when they release, you know, Cyborg Superman to fool everybody. That'd be the third movie. You know, Superman coming back. Cyborg Superman. But at the end of the movie, of the second one, that's when you get Superboy coming out. And that's when you got John Henry Irons reading the news that, you know, flat out, Superman died. So he goes and constructs a suit, you know. And at the same time, boom, Eradicator. That program wakes up, becomes sentient, and starts coming down to Earth. That'd be number 3. You know? And again, mid-credit, end credit, whatever you want to call it, connected. You know? Connect it up. And do it up like that. In terms of Superman, that's how I do it. Let me know what y'all think. You know? How would you do a Batman movie? How would you connect it to that Superman movie? You know? Shit, y'all want to hear a third movie? Third movie. You know, Eradicator come out, Cyborg Superman fooling everybody thinking that Superman's back, you know, but then he gets exposed by Eradicator and then, you know, so he pretty much gets destroyed. Superboy come up, but he's impulsive, so he's not really, you know, he's not really 100. And then still kind of want to keep him in check, but then they end up beefing, they have their own squabbles. And then Superman in the black suit kind of come back and he, you know, save the universe, whatever, you know, and he kind of adopts, you know, Superboy, and they kind of do the thing like they did in like combining the two, Young Titans. I'm talking about Young Justice, you know, where Superman was kind of iffy and he felt strange, you know, knowing that Superboy is, you know, his son or whatever. So shit like that, you know, and then just connect it all with them movies. You know, worst case scenario, you can have Alfred kind of send out the call and being like, you know, tap him on the shoulder, you know, and be like, you know what, Superman, we got you, you know, keep in contact, here's a whatever, we'll call you kind of thing, you know what I'm saying? Some shit like that. And yeah, let me know what y'all think. Would that movie be cool? Would that movie be whack? All I'm saying though is anybody hear this from Warner Brothers, y'all better sign off and give me some kind of royalty, you know, some kind of acknowledgement, because I pretty much did the job for y'all. 3 movies. And I pretty much did the job for y'all. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to shut my mouth, let the music play. It's 5:03 now. And it is what it is. That's it for y'all. What we got coming up next? We got a Home Invasion exclusive by Duchess C. Mills with No the Ting right here on the Home Invasion Show. Once again, y'all heard it first right here on the show. It's Living Large. Y'all know what it is. Sucker Free Radio, OG Radio, and brand new Chin Checker Radio, because y'all getting served right here. You know. 110%. So Duchess C. Mills holding it down for Toronto. Y'all hear it right here. Crazy ass shit. You know, she's dropping a new EP. Go ahead and check that out. You know, it's actually dropping in a couple days from what I heard. And, you know, we'll do it big like that. Whenever I get the link, I'll just link it up. Let y'all know what it is, you know. But without further ado, I'm going to let y'all go. That's it for me. Second day of Ramadan, I want to say Ramadan Kareem to everybody celebrating. You know, y'all feeling it. We're feeling it, you know. And, shit, we'll see y'all next week. You know what I'm saying? And once again, y'all checking this out on the YouTube. Like, comment, subscribe. Do what it do. Y'all know what it is. Much love go out to everybody. And all the haters out there, keep clicking the videos. You know, all we want is to click anyway. So just go ahead and give us that click. Much love. God bless. And haters stay hate. Y'all know what it is. Living large, baby. I'm out.